The Demon Slayer finale just dropped 2 weeks ago, and I've been wondering where the raw hype for this show went.
Hey, what happened?
As first-hand witnesses to the buzz this show produced during first episode screenings in theaters, it seems like the anime community just fell silent compared to the previous season finale. So you already know what I did. I had to do a complete review of how I felt during this entire story arc, pre-finale impressions. Before watching the finale for this season, our feelings were a bit mixed about the show. I personally was a big fan, as the animation was done right as always. Not only that, but I really like how they stepped away from the original trio, giving more space for side characters to shine. Genya takes the spotlight in this. They took a background character from the first season, slapped that Bakugo personality onto him, gave him a sick demon ability with a final touch of sad backstory to make him one of my favorites in the show. I can already tell that they're building up the hype of the ancient sword, starting with the reveal of it inside the training robot, to Haga Nezuko putting his life on the line to sharpen it. I better see Tanjiro one-shot that kid demon with the overpoweredness of that blade. Also, important point, Haga Nezuko looks nothing like I thought he would look. I really did think he was gonna look like an anime Steve Buscemi due to the natural goofiness of the Hyotoko mask, but the face reveal was crazy, because they made him look like Rengoku with black hair after like 10 years in prison. He's dazed. He's definitely on something. One big thing to mention is the abundance of CGI in Demon Slayer. We all know about the CGI drama in the anime community. What the heck? Demon Slayer has been using CGI for a while, and so far it's been exceptional. This season was a lot more noticeable with the CGI, due to the goldfish monsters and the wooden dragons, but they blended it perfectly, and I heard no complaints about it. Only praise. Post-finale impressions. I'm not gonna lie, we completely forgot that this season ended on this episode. But honestly, that isn't entirely our fault. With the way the episodes were building up, it felt like they were going to be chasing Hantengu forever. They started chasing this guy like 4 episodes back. Even still, it helped a ton that the finale was 1 hour long, letting even more hype build. In this arc though, I really wish we could have seen more focus on Mitsuri and their personality. Not in that way, Now get this guy out of here. Not in that way. It really felt like she was barely in the season, just showing up at the beginning and then the end. But that's kind of an issue because her and Tokito were the main headliners of the season. However, she does generally have a likable gag character trait. In my opinion, can be a bit annoying at times. Don't put me at the stake and kill me, alright? Although, not directly related with the finale, I did think at the beginning that Tanjiro's mark reusage was far too sooner than it should have been. However, looking back, I am glad that they're retouching this idea without Tanjiro relying on it too much. The fact that other Hashira have this mark is also really cool, which really sells the idea of why they are this overpowered. Seeing Tokito have the mark on him was crazy, because I initially thought that this mark was going to be exclusive to Tanjiro. Speaking of the Wind Hashira, I found Tokito's development during the fight with Gyoko to be really interesting, as I found myself wanting to know more about his past and lost memories. You know what did catch me off guard though? It was Tanjiro's development during the whole arc. This guy like doubled his strength during the span of a few episodes. It kind of felt like there was a time skip. All this guy really did was wrestle with a doll for like a few days and start smelling more. And now this guy can solo a weakened Hantengu? I need to remind you that this guy is an Upper Moon 4, which means he's like the 5th strongest demon in the verse. This guy like shattered his ankle, and like 5 minutes later, he was sprinting after Hantengu. You gotta be on some demon time to endure that. I mean, not only that, but I kinda thought that Tanjiro's thunder breathing was a bit undeserved in the finale. And that's even still if it can be explained with his special breathing. Specific types of breathing definitely take years to master. But this guy he was able to do it after one flashback? I personally wouldn't have a problem with this if it was his own interpretation of the breathing technique. But they quite literally animated him moving like lightning, implying that the breathing technique was used. The notable moments of the finale definitely include the part where Tanjiro uses the new sword. The build up to that scene was absolute hype because it was the culmination of the sword foreshadowing, as well as sick music, crazy animation, and everyone's hopes behind that blade. My favorite touch to this scene was a potential reference to Rengoku's final stand versus Akaza, where if you notice the fire bursts, they're very similar. It's a nice artistic choice. The scene where Nezuko is exposed to the sun is nothing more than a masterpiece. The scene was so intense, making Tanjiro have to choose between his sister and risking the demon powering up and, well, killing everyone as a result. It really puts Tanjiro's loyalty to the Demon Slayers into question. Will he choose to save the humans, or will he choose to save a demon? Of course, it isn't as simple as that, but this whole dilemma and his inability to abandon his sister really upped the tension during this scene. There really was a flashback sequence for her death, which had me snoring. No, how could you say that about Nezuko-chan, man? No, I love Nezuko-chan, no! In all honesty, the scene provided so much more weight towards Hantengu's beheading. Great final fight. The thing that really threw me off during the finale was that Nezuko somehow became immune to sunlight. Like, what? Bro, Cars had to get a mask to do that, and you're telling me she just didn't do nothing? Muda skill, bro. You don't have enough skill for this, bro. During the reveal scene, I really did think Tanjiro was hallucinating out of grief. But when we realized that she really was alive, I thought it was undeserved and unexplained. The fact that no one died made it seem a bit cliche, especially since her sun immunity came out of nowhere. They should have foreshadowed something about this, but this came off as lazy writing to me. They then go and then justify the sudden power-up by saying that Lady Tamayo predicted it just by looking at her blood. Well, that and her not regaining her sense of self due to other priorities, which is a massive jump to a conclusion. So you're telling me all Muzan had to do was fast for a little bit instead of committing mass genocide to become immortal? Who would have thunk it? Now, one thought that kept on coming up was this season compared to the Entertainment District arc. As one of the people who saw the final episode in theaters, the hype was crazy and one of the best anime experiences I've had. The climax to that arc was masterfully built up, and the characters were also amazing. The Swordsmith village arc just wasn't as good, and that's just cause they didn't have Tengen Uzi. They just didn't hype up Mitsuri as much as Tengen. Although this season wasn't as good, I did think the key moments did compare quite well. The best moments of this arc that kept this show's quality was Tanjiro's mark reawakening, him using the new sword, the whole sunrise scene, and of course, the beheading of Hantengu. Overall, this arc was great, just not as engaging as the last one. If you liked this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and just let us know in the comments about your opinions of the season. It would be great and would help us out so dearly. Alright, we'll see you in the next video.